So one of the disadvantages of a command line interface is that you potentially have to type a lot of commands. So there are various ways that you can reduce the amount of typing you need to do. The first one we saw was with tab completion and some of the things like tilde and dot dot, which are shorthand for various directories. Now I want to show you a couple options for saving typing in terms of typing commands. So if I've done this big long command and I'm trying to find various files, so I've typed all this out and I've run the command, and maybe I've gone and done other various things and maybe created some files. If I want to run this command again, one of the things obviously I can do is retype it, but that's a lot of work. So what I can do is use the up and down arrows, and what that's going to do is scroll through my history of what commands I've run. And once I've found the one that I'd like to run, I can just go ahead and press enter and it will rerun that command again. So that can be helpful if you have a big long command that you don't want to type, or you have a big long command that took you a while to figure out how to run it properly and you want to be able to quickly rerun it without typing the command again. Now, the other nice thing is that once I'm scrolling through, maybe I want to run this command again, but with a very slight change. So what I can do is use the left and right arrow, and I can come over here and maybe instead of running this command using dir 1, I want to run it with dir 2, and I can rerun that command. And I don't even have to use the right arrow to go back again. I can just press enter and it'll run the entire command for me. So this time I get a different set of results, of course, because I've changed the parameter of the command, but it was so similar to the previous command that it was much, much faster to just up arrow, left arrow, and then rerun the command. The other thing is, if your commands start getting very long, it's kind of annoying to have to hold the left arrow down all the way. Maybe if I want to change something on the far left, so I can use Control A, and that will move the cursor all the way to the left. And then I can right arrow over and just make a change. And if I've gone all the way to the left with Control A, maybe changed things, I can also come back over. If I want to get to the end of the command, I can use Control E. So Control A and Control E will move the cursor back and forth between the end and the beginning of the file. Now, if you have been typing a lot of commands and you're now up arrowing to try to find one that you ran in the past, that can get kind of annoying. So instead of just seeing one at a time and trying to scroll through and find something, I can type the history command, and that'll display visually on my screen the full history of all the commands I've been running in the recent past. So that can be a visual reference to you of, well, what command did I type and what options was I using when I did that? And some people will be tempted, well, I can just kind of copy and paste the command, rerun it again, but there's some convenient ways of rerunning a given command. So if, for example, I've identified a command, you'll notice that there are numbers to the left of each one. So I can use the exclamation point and specify that I'd like to rerun that find dot command with the 545 next to it, and this will rerun that command for me without having to retype it or up arrow all the way up to that command. The other thing is that instead of exclamation point and a number to specify a command, I can rerun a command by typing the first part of it, and it will auto-complete it to the most recent version of a command that I issued that started with that text. And you will just have to be careful because it will auto-complete to the most recent version, and if that turns out to not be something you want to run, you'll have to be careful about this and think about the most recent version of a command you ran. In particular, if you use this with remove and are deleting files, you'll want to think carefully about doing that. But if it's something safe like just changing directories or finding files, the worst case is you just ran a command that was kind of useless. But do be careful about what it's going to autocomplete to when you do something like this.